So we are here at Treasure Chest, our hands-on interactive history experience in St. Augustine, Florida. We're going to be dipping some candles today. These are what we use for our school group and our family tours here. When visitors come to St. Augustine and come into our museum, we dip candles as one of the activities that we do. We also do rope making. The rope that you see the candles hanging on, we actually made right here in the museum as well. What we're dipping is organic beeswax candles. So we dip them down into our wax vat here and then let them drip. When they stop dripping, then we dip them back down into the vat again. It usually takes about 40 dips or so for us to get the candles to the size that we need. I'll dip each of these about 6 times and then cool them off in our water bucket over here, a copper water bucket. And then switch to the next paddle. It's a very therapeutic process. So what I'm doing now is just pinching off the ends where they have dripped to give us a nice flat bottom candle. It's not just flat bottom girls, flat bottom candles as well that we like. So going to just reposition the camera here just a little bit. A little more down. Over this way. There we go. So we can see a little bit better. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm here at Treasure Chest. It's a hands-on interactive history museum in St. Augustine, Florida. So if you ever come to St. Augustine, please be sure to stop by. We do family tours here. It's just $25 for the whole family to come in and each get to dip a candle and take it home with you. We'll also make a rope on our colonial rope making station. So we're dipping beeswax candles. These are wicks that I prepared just a little bit earlier. We dip them about 6 times or so. Let them drip back down into the vat there and then cool them off with the water. And then just pinch them off here at the bottom. Make them nice and flat. And move on to our next paddle. These paddles are made by just taking some wooden dowels and round wood discs and then adding some hooks onto them so that we can dip 4 candles at once. Kind of speeds up the process. We go through about 150 candles a day here at the museum. When we have school groups in, then we also sell them on our website and at retail shops all around St. Augustine. Our website is treasurechestgames.com. You can visit that website, see our games that we create right here at the museum. Also purchase candles and different things that we have for sale on the website. We've got some beautiful St. Augustine jigsaw puzzles that will be arriving very soon. Excited to have those going up on the website as well. They're up on the website now. They'll be able to be delivered here in just a week or 2.
Is this the same kind you have? It is. You sure? Looks like a big one. Sure is. Pretty sure. The leaves look really similar.
This is all organic beeswax. We get our beeswax from a local bee farmer here in St. Augustine. They live just 2 streets over from the museum. Their bee farm is out in Elkton, just a little west of town. We actually buy our honey from them as well. We go through quite a bit of honey. We go through about 3 pounds of honey every 2 weeks. So we were just at the farmer's market yesterday purchasing some honey from them and placed another order for some more beeswax. So we go through about 30 pounds of beeswax a week here. We make a lot of candles here. I just finished pouring some candles as well, and those are fun to make. They're a little more precise candles, but I really enjoy the process of hand dipping the candles. So like I said, I made these paddles so that we can dip 4 candles at once. And when we have school groups in here on field trips, we have about 10 of these paddles hung up here so that each of the kids gets to dip a candle and wind up taking it home with them. on their field trips. So they get a free souvenir when they come and visit here at Treasure Chest. Dip them down in the water, cool them off a little bit. And these are ready to hang up. Let them cure for a few minutes while we finish up the others. They're getting real close to the size that we want. Probably 6 more dips in there, and they'll be ready to go. If you've ever visited St. Augustine, let me know. Let me know in the chat there. It is really, really warm here in St. Augustine today. We got a lot of rain last night. It stormed really hard, but no flooding, nothing like that, just rain. Just good, heavy, soaking rain. Once we start getting those rains here in Florida, then it just encourages more rain to come. Once you've got a little bit of that moisture in the ground, more of it will come. Then we get those regular afternoon thunderstorms, which cool off and make the nights much more tolerable. Hit a little over 90 degrees today here in St. Augustine. Hey, how are you? So we have a 2-bedroom Airbnb right behind our museum. Ever decide to come to St. Augustine, we've got a great list of accommodations that we can send out to you. Just leave us a comment in the chat below and we can send that list over to you. You can also visit our website at seamericatours.net and check out our list of great accommodations that we have here in the city. These are all independent Airbnb operators that we like to refer guests to. Stay right in the heart of the historic district or over on Anastasia Island if you choose to stay over there. We've got some beach properties on there as well. St. Augustine is a wonderful destination. It is the oldest city in the United States. And our museum is located right in the heart of the historic district, right on the most charming street in town, Spanish Street. We're located at 76 Spanish Street, right next to the Floridian restaurant, which is one of our top 10 restaurants here in town. Delicious scratch kitchen, family owned and operated. They've got a young son. I think he's about 7 or 8 years old now, Graham. I asked him one day, I said, Graham, what's your favorite item on your menu? He said, oh, the only 2 good things on this menu are cornbread and our waffles. They've got a lot more good stuff, but you know, that's the mind of a 7-year-old. I think he was 6 at the time. It is a wonderful restaurant located right next door to us. We're actually located also right next door to Relampago Coffee. Great coffee shop right next door. So our chaperones, when they come on a field trip, they can bring the kids in. They come into the museum, they sit down and get a little history lesson from our tour guide, Miss Susan. She tells them about the Menorcan history here in St. Augustine. Chaperones can run over, grab a cup of coffee, and come back and join the tour. A wonderful experience for them. I remember coming to St. Augustine on my 4th grade field trip. And that's kind of what inspired this business that I have today. I've been bringing 4th graders on field trips for 35 years now. Going on 36 years in September. So these candles are really nearing completion. One little lump on one of them from one of those little wax pellets that I dropped down in there. I'm going to remove that, and these will be ready to go. Just kind of push that down in there, and we'll pinch these off. And those are ready for somebody to take home with them or purchase on the website, treasurechestgames.com. So these are beeswax candles that we're dipping today. It's primarily what we work with here is beeswax candles. We also have some that we pour into candle molds. I did a few of those this morning. I've got 8 of them in there curing right now. Those will be done in about 2 hours, and then I'll be able to pour 8 more. We can only make about 16 of those in a day, so they're a little higher price. These are 2 for $5, and the others are 2 for $10 for the poured candles. Hello there, how are you?
Hi. You're recording yourself?
Yeah, we're just doing a YouTube Live.
Cool.
Where are y'all visiting from?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Ponte Vedra.
Nice, almost neighbors.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're doing some candle dipping here. We do, in this museum, we talk about family life here in St. Augustine. So we talk about the Menorcans who came here during the British time period and kind of took over St. Augustine. They've been here ever since. They've been here for more than 250 years. So they outlasted the British, outlasted the Spanish, and they're still remaining here in St. Augustine. They still live in this area. So this building was originally built in 1778 during that British time period.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do candle dipping and rope making and carding wool and weaving and things like that. So what drew y'all down here this week?
Oh, we always come down here.
Always come down
This is
here.
our favorite little getaway.
Have you
yeah.
stayed here at this property before?
We're not staying here.
Oh, okay.
We live in Ponte Vedra. It's a 40-minute drive.
Oh, okay, so you're just down for the day. Okay, I thought y'all were
Yeah.
staying at the Airbnb back. There's a 2-bedroom Airbnb right here.
Oh, cool.
That's how you're coming from the
Okay.
back. You're coming from the coffee shop.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, we just like to adventure around
It
here.
is. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
We're looking for a house in South St. Johns County, so we're hoping St. Augustine will be even closer for us.
Even closer, yes. It is. It's a magical little town. There's stuff that happens here that would never happen anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely, we love it.
We were sitting out at the Bull and Crown pub a few months ago, and here comes a girl kicking a soccer ball up the street. They were filming a soccer video.
Oh,
She's
cool.
followed by a mariachi band, and then 5 minutes later, here come 4 pirates walking by.
Oh my God, yeah,
You just don't
right.
see that in other places.
The eclectic
Yes,
characters
it
here.
is. It is.
We love it. So do you sell these little candles individual?
We
or-
do, yeah. We sell these, and then we've got some poured candles as well. They're a little bit bigger.
Do you mind, can I go
No,
in here and
come
take a
right on
look?
in, yeah.
Awesome.
Take a look in there. You'll see inside of my lantern there, you'll see one of the poured candles. So I'll be right back, guys. Keep watching these drip and dry, and I'll be right back in here. Yes. These are the poured candles here. I've got some right here that they're curing now. I just made these this morning. There's beeswax. We did it. The people that we get our beeswax from live 2 streets up from Sarah Thomas. No, this is Bevo Farms. Thomas is another one. We buy our peanuts and some data money from them. Buy our honey that we use on a daily basis. Yeah. These are the poured candles here. This is all 100% organic beeswax, so it's smell just like honey. When I'm back there dipping, a lot of times we'll have bees start to come over, and after it goes up and back for a minute, they'll actually try to get down into the hot wax. It's one of the byproducts of the honey.
It's good to see the Florida bees make a little bit of a comeback.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
good to see them.
So these are used for making dyes. So when you shear the wool off a sheep, it's going to be white like this, but it's going to have a lot of bugs, and sticks, and stems, and all that sort of stuff in it. So you take these wool parts, you discard them, get all of the wool running fibers in front of them, running in the same direction, and then you pull that off, and then start to spin it. You're doing, if you had a lot of money, you had spinning. If you had just a little bit of money, then you had a drop spin. But this family over here, they were very, very poor, so it was just pinch, pull, twist, and twist it into fibers, and weave it into a yarn like that. But then you get into colors. So the yellow is dyed in lemon seeds. Brown here is dyed in walnut shells. When you they started in the indigo plantation down there, out there in the Turnbull, like 20,000 acres of land. Yes, so they started a plantation there, and it wound up failing. But he brought over 1,500 people as indentured servants. And they packed them on 8 ships that are in for about 500. They worked for 7 years, they've given them freedom, plus 50 acres of land for each person, 5 acres for each child. And they never got in. And they wound up walking for 3 days to get here to St. Augustine, petition the British governor, Governor Tonin, for their freedom. And he says, okay, take what was open left, get this Spanish house to town, we're not using them anymore, puts the love here into them, and welcome to St. Augustine. So it's a lot of family given this tract of land here. It stretched from Spanish Street here back to Porto Street. And this was their tract of land.
This is pretty big. Obviously, this is completely redone.
This was a one-room house. The size of the house was the exact footprint. We built in 1965. So there was another 1.5-story building back behind us, and that's where the Airbnb is. The British are using mostly red, with a little bit of blue from the indigo, and then the Spanish are using mostly blue with a little bit of red. They didn't have enough. The wool comes weighs 13 pounds. I dress as a Spanish soldier almost on a daily basis, but I don't even own one of those coats.
You do like a light one?
No, I don't. I do the waistcoat that goes beneath it, which is still made out of wool, but I don't do the full wool coat.
And it wasn't as hot, I don't think. I mean, probably Florida's Florida, but I don't think
They
it was.
weren't as sporty.
Yeah.
You see, I leave the door to the museum open just so the air conditioning comes out.
We are spoiled.
Oftentimes I don't even open up the bathroom door, then I've got air coming
Get
in.
more air. It is different. So when I went to Vermont visiting my girlfriend, and I was like, her house fishes the cabin all the way up in the North Kingdom. And I was like, it is sticky and hot in here. It's because I didn't have a ceiling in. I didn't have my AC. I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah, it pulls off the moisture out of the air. These are days of manufacturing. Here in the museum, we shop after that. This is Chef Boss. It's a 700-year-old candy cake played on pirate ships around the world. You roll the dice, and then whatever number you roll goes up that number or a combination to make that number. It's really good, especially for kids at home with math skills. They learn to add that number really quickly. Come up with
That's a good idea. And then all the pirates fighting, drinking whiskey out of bottles, whatever went to steal the money.
around where you go.
Okay, that's really cool.
This is one that we invented here called Pirate's Plunder. Little dice. The slot here. For that slot. The goal is to get rid of all of it. So roll until you decide to use one pass. And at that point after pass, if you roll a 3, 4, or 5, you have to take all of those ones and put them into your stack.
Like poker.
You get a 1, 2, or 6. You get a 6. Goes down into the board and the front.
It's the lot. Very cool.
Kids, they put a sticker or something in there, but you know, the adults, they throw a quarter or a dollar.
Yeah.
I guess that-
Were these cues from the church over there?
These actually came out of a Catholic church over in Macau.
Okay.
We do school field trips here, so we have the kids sit down on the
Oh, sure.
bed sash, and in
Okay.
the room, they go through it and sit down.
So
on the benches.
cute.
They enjoy it a lot better.
Thank you for stopping your
You're
live.
very welcome. Oh, not a problem at all. All right, so these candles have cured now, and they are ready to just go down into the water for a few more minutes, finish curing, and then they're ready to package up and be ready for sale.
Bye. Thank
Y'all
you.
enjoy your journey. And if you're careful when you're dipping the candles and you don't dip the paddles all the way down into the wax, which some of the fourth graders really have a hard time doing, but then they come off really, really easy, just like they did for me. Now I'm going to get these set up so that we can make some more candles here. Hang some more wicks on these paddles and we'll get another batch of candles going. These paddles are designed to hold 2 wicks each, so making 4 candles. So doubled up there. go in and get one more wick for this other paddle. I'll be right back. Dip some more candles. And we're back. So, let's get started dipping some more candles. These are going down into our 100% organic beeswax. We get this beeswax locally from some bee farmers right here in St. Augustine. Their bee farm is out in Elkton, but we actually buy our honey from them as well over at the farmer's market. So we dip it and then let them drip, and when they stop dripping, then we dip down in the wax again. Wax is getting a little cool, which is nice. Make some nice thick candles very quickly. I'm going to hang these up for just a minute. Clear out the water bucket here. These are the candles that we just finished making right here. These will go into the museum and be ready for purchase. Hey, stoked on St. Augustine. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. You live here in St. Augustine? Francisco, how you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. A great weekend here in St. Augustine. Beautiful weather. It's a little warm, but we've got a nice air-conditioned museum right here in downtown St. Augustine. So I've actually got the door to the museum open, so if anybody does come in, I'm able to see them as soon as they come in and go and greet them and give them a little tour. But right now, don't have anybody in here, so we need to get caught up on candles for our school season. Like I said, we go through about 150 candles a day, so we have to have several hundred made up, because when we are busy with our school field trips, and we're not able to make the candles as fast as what we need. When the school groups come in, they are dipping candles for the group for tomorrow. So they get to take home the candles that were dipped by a group from yesterday. We always have a pile of them made up so that we can make sure that we have plenty for everybody to have one to take home as a souvenir on their field trip. Now that one, the wicks just came off. We'll make sure that they don't come off again. So the wax is just a little bit cool for the initial dip, but once it's got a little bit of weight on the wick, then they'll stay on there. Away we go. We just let them drip until they stop dripping. Even that now a little. And pull them back up. So we get our wax from our friends over at Bee Hill Farms. They're right here. In fact, they live just 2 streets over from us. They're over on Saragossa Street. And we're going to cool those off. Straighten them out a little bit. And those are ready to hang up, and we're ready to make some more. Now, I also made some poured candles today, and those will be ready to pop out of the molds here in about an hour. If you're still around, we'll be able to show you how that process works. Dipping out here a little bit earlier and had a bee try to fly down into the wax, so I had to close up the vat for a few minutes just to shoo him away. We want to make sure that we take care of our honeybees. They get attracted to those wax because it does smell just like honey. It comes from their hives. And especially since we're using local honey, the bees really, really love that. So I just pinch these off a little bit at the bottoms every once in a while to make sure that we have a nice flat candle. And then we have another technique that we use just to stir the wax around a little bit. But right now I don't need to do that. I don't have too many of the obstructions in here. Those obstructions are those pieces that I pick off from the bottom Occasionally they'll get stuck on one of the candles, but right now they're staying over in the corners where I don't have to mess with them too much. Thank you so much for joining us. This is awesome. I love dipping these candles. It's kind of therapeutic for me. Just dipping them and letting them drip back down into the wax, and everything gets recycled. Anything that, if we mess up a candle, we just drop the whole thing down into the vat, and at the end of the day, I just fish out all the wicks that are at the bottom. So far, luckily, I haven't messed up any today. So I try to dip them about 6 times and then cool them off. I want to get a good cure on them, because even though most of these wind up going to school groups, a lot of people wind up buying our candles either on our website or here in our museum store or our new retail shop, which is opening next week over on St. George Street. So next time you do come down to downtown St. Augustine, be sure to swing by our retail shop, Treasure Chest Games. We will be located at 65 St. George Street, right next door to Teddy's Ice Cream. So swing in and see us over there. We're going to be selling our candles and our games, our Pirates Plunder and Shut the Box games, and a few others as well. We'll have some other St. Augustine souvenir items. And our scavenger hunts, the key to the city scavenger hunt, is one of our favorite items to sell. It is the most memorable way to explore the city of St. Augustine. So it's a digital scavenger hunt. You do it on your phone. Go and explore the town. You solve puzzles, mysteries, riddles, rhymes, and you upload photos as you go along. And then at the end of the scavenger hunt, you finish down on the south end of town here, exploring areas that are kind of off the beaten path, discovering items that you may not have known. And then our system sends you a video reel of all the memories that you created while you were on the scavenger hunt. That's the key to the city scavenger hunt. We've got 2 different versions of it. One is about a 45-minute version, and then the other is about 2 hours. Just depends on the amount of time that you want to go on it and explore the city. Both just $10 per person. Check out our website at seeamericatours.net for our games, candles, and so forth. It is treasurechestgames.com. Just going to pick the ends off of here. This is really fun. It's a really therapeutic process as well. I'm going to go and place these candles inside in our collection. So I've got 16 candles that I was able to get done so far. Grab that set there. They almost went back down in the vat. Hey, we just got a new booking on our Castillo After Dark tour. That is a fun tour. If you're coming here to St. Augustine and you're not necessarily interested in a ghost tour, we do the Castillo After Dark. So we take you around the Castillo on the outside perimeter. We can't go inside after 5, but we take you around the outside perimeter of the fort, telling you a lot of the history and stories of the fort. It is a fascinating fort. It's 351 years old. I'll be right back.
Sadie's drinking water, and that puppy, holy cow, chow pounded her food so fast. She was like,
And here we go for another round of candle dipping. So yeah, the Castillo After Dark. We talk about the history of the fort, the construction of the fort, how it was built and why it was built, and tell some of the fascinating stories of the fort. It takes about 45 to 50 minutes. We do it in very, very small groups, so no more than 10 or 15 people, and most of the time it's a private tour for just you and your family. So our ghost tours is the same way. We operate the Night Watchman Ghost Tour. We talk about the history of the city, as well as some of the legendary ghost tales here in this town. In a town that's over 460 years old, nearing 500 years of history now. We like to tell a lot of the history on our ghost tour as well, so it's about 60% history and 40% ghost tour, because we do feel that if you don't have a good understanding of the history of the town, it's hard to understand why there are so many spirits here and why they don't want to leave. So join us on the Night Watchman Ghost Tour. Next visit to St. Augustine. Be sure to book up in advance because, like I said, we do small groups, only 15 people, so we do sell out. So you want to book in advance. Just hit up our website, book it there, seeamericatours.net. There's going to be some really nice candles here. Like I said, we go through about 150 candles a day here at Treasure Chest. When the Spanish came here to St. Augustine, they weren't able to make candles here in St. Augustine. They had to import them, which meant you had shipping costs. Made them very, very expensive. So the Spanish were actually using fish oil. They would eat a lot of fish and then take that fish oil and take a little scrap of fabric, a little cotton or linen, and put that down into the fish oil and then burn that. And that gave them just a little bit of light, but it also smelled terrible. Terrible smell, but that helped keep the bugs away. A little bit of mosquito control. As you know, here in St. Augustine, or you may not know, but St. Augustine had a lot of problems with yellow fever. In fact, some of our cemeteries here in St. Augustine were opened because of yellow fever. Yellow fever was known as the black vomit. Once you showed signs of having yellow fever, you're probably going to be dead within about 3 days. In 1821, there was a yellow fever outbreak here, and we had 90 funerals in a 30-day period that were all Protestants. All of the cemeteries in town were Catholic cemeteries, so they had an immediate need for a public burial ground for those that were not Catholic. 1821 is the year that Florida became a United States territory. So we had a lot of new people moving down here into Florida, and their bodies had not developed immunities to the viruses and the diseases like the Spanish had. So a lot of them got sick and died. Or if they weren't Catholic, they couldn't be buried in the Catholic cemeteries. So they opened the Protestant cemetery just outside the old city limits, the city gate. It sits right over next to our visitor center. So if you've ever been here to St. Augustine and you parked over at the Visitor Information Center, historic downtown parking garage, that's where that cemetery is located, the old Huguenot cemetery. Now there are no French Huguenots buried in there, but it was designed for those that were not Catholic to have a public burial ground. So we're going to get started on this next round of dipping candles here. I might actually have to switch vats here in a minute, or cover this one up for a few minutes and let it heat up just a skosh more. Some of the little bits and pieces that I'm dropping down in there are not melting quite as fast as I like to see. Candles are turning out really, really nice out of this vat here. I really like this batch of beeswax that I've got here. It's a good blend. 100% all natural organic beeswax. By cooling them down like this, it helps them to cure. And we let them hang and cure a little bit. And these will be ready to go. Those are good. This round here should be done here in just a few minutes. I'm actually going to see if we can switch vats. I'm not ready. I'm just going to cover this one up for a minute. Get out one of our little stirring sticks here. We use this just to stir the wax around a little bit. Make sure that all those pieces that I'm picking off the bottoms of the candles, they're melting and they're not sticking to the candles as I'm dipping them. That gives them little bumps on the sides of the candles, and we want everybody to have a nice clean candle when they take it away from Treasure Chest here, whether they're purchasing it or they are coming on a tour and then you get a free candle. So it's $25 for a family to come in the museum. You get to make a rope, take that home. You get to make some candles, take those home. Play colonial games like Shut the Box, which is a 700-year-old game that was played on pirate ships around the world. Sailing ships is a gambling game. We have that here that we manufacture here. And then also our game that was invented right here at Treasure Chest called Pirates Plunder. That's been a really, really popular, good selling game. We've sold over 700 of them already. I'm really impressed with the support that we've gotten from our community here in St. Augustine. We have them in retail shops all over town, the Pirate and Treasure Museum, Ancient City Tours, the Visitor Center gift shop. There'll be in the Pena Peck House gift shop this week. And then also let's see if we got anybody in there. Hey, come on in. Hello there, how are you? We're going to end our live.